Uh-oh. Oh no! What have we done? Oh no! This is what I was afraid might happen. Oh boy, I've been hearing it from everyone, from the shareholders to our rail workers and even the people in this city. Folks, we got a rail-pocalypse in our hands. A real rail-pocalypse. Don't worry. I'm sure everything will turn out just fine. And with that, welcome to the 18th episode of our City Skylines playthrough. Morgoth the Barbarian here with the $1 million playthrough, and I think it's safe to say we have a $1 billion problem. Last time out, we managed to finally get our cargo port rolling. You can see the traffic is, well, it's trying its best to, be an issue. When is it? Never. But the real problem is currently on the rails. This is bad. This is not even remotely what I wanted to see. I was afraid something might happen, like this might happen in the future, and by God, it did, and past me did my current me no future, no favors whatsoever, and at the rate we're going, we may not have a future. Oh man. Because there is just so much money being left on these rails, it's not even funny. We absolutely have to fix this whatsoever. So that's what we're doing. Of course, you know what to do. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea where to start. Oh boy. And the sad part is too, is I just got my iron mine to level 5, so we can now access any iron we want. We also built a couple more districts in here, but none of this matters realistically in the end. That's a little interesting. I did not realize... Okay, hang on a minute. I already see one thing we need to do, and I didn't realize that this... I know, this is a minor problem compared to, all the other things that have been happening. There. Can we at least get some garbage? Is this area looking good, by the way? Alright. Yeah, problem was nothing compared to this. Okay, so from a 66%. Now, that's not terrible. In fact, it's actually been hovering in the 60s, so I'm not concerned too much. I mean, granted, we have a lot of traffic around Green Heights, but when is there not? A lot of traffic on our bridges leading from here, this part of the city, over here. But once again, when has it not been an issue? I'm not so... Alright, who burned down the statue of Whelp? What the hell? Okay, so that could be why everything's going to hell in a handbasket here. And no fire department coverage. Jeez. I would think the fire department would have been all over that, but no. Alright, well, we're going to be finding whoever did that that brought the justice. Oh, am I kidding? Got bigger issues to deal with. Of course, around the oil district, you'd expect it to be high-level traffic, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And then... it's a little bit crowded along Amity Farm, as well as over here. So it's not outright terrible, but I have seen much better than this. But do you see all that red? That is all rail traffic that can't go anywhere, and as a result, that's money that's just sitting on our rails. That is completely unacceptable, and we need to fix that, say, now. Although, as I'm looking around at the map, that is easier said than done. I can already see one part right away. That's not looking too good. But yes, wherever we see red, that's the problem. And my oh my, do we have red literally everywhere, except here for some weird reason. Apparently our original train superhighway isn't being utilized. That's kind of a disturbing thing to see. Okay. So we're going to do a couple, I think we need to better up our rail infrastructure. Particularly in this area right here. I think this might be a good opportunity. What we're going to do is create kind of a second quote-unquote train superhighway, or at the very least, maybe just have some one-way tracks go around this. This area looks like it's prime for some kind of rail development. Aside from that, really the only area we could focus on is over here. But with part of the rails being on the outskirts of the city, that's not... It's going to be a challenge. So, let's start off, and then finally... this area is kind of looking pretty iffy too. There may not be too much we can do about this, considering this is a residential corridor. That one might have to be left to its own devices, quote unquote, but we'll see what happens. So let's start with the easiest area to fix, and that's over here. Okay, set. I'm going to turn this in kind of a one-way train line. Well, perhaps not. I think first thing we ought to do, actually, is move this. This is where our old cargo bay district can finally come into use here. I'm trying to figure out a good spot for it. Or do I just straight up demolish it? That's the next question. I want to have a forestry district in here, but I can't... I think we're going to have to bite the bullet and demolish those. Okay. Alright, we are effectively done with that. That probably might solve most of the train issues, not for nothing. I don't think we can have those for right now. I'll just demolish what's ever over here. Yeah, realistically, we can't have those for right now. They're not really doing anything anyways. They're not even being used. I think what I can do... Now, see, we also have an intersection over here that is, well, let me put it here this way. It's doing its, purpose. Now, what is this, anyways? Aha! So we have a mix of passenger trains that are utilizing this route and freight trains. You can kind of see the damage it's causing right here. So I think the best way to do this would be to have... This is going to sound crazy. Potentially a... Oh, man. But then I don't want to lose this. I think we need to have kind of like another lane and then another set of tracks. So we're going to build another... So let's start with the easiest part first. And we'll build this just simply on the rails. On the list of things I didn't expect to be doing on this episode, this was probably not it. Oh man, that was just hard to look at. Okay. If I connect it up to... Will it even let me connect up to there? What are you doing, game? Slope too steep. What? Alright, game's forcing me to use anarchy mode for the 400 millionth time. There we go. So we've got that all set up. Sort of a emergency bypass. And then I want to have this. This will get converted into a 2 in what I've got it set on right now. So we're going to build kind of let's call it a second train superhighway. The problem is that we've got quote-unquote exits to deal with. Like, we've got one over here. We've got one over here. So let me put this on pause for a second, because we're going to be doing some infrastructure rearranging here, so bear with me. Start with this train line right over here. Now, there is one option I could do if I really wanted to test it, and that's this. This basically nukes all the traffic in the city, so we would start from square one. I don't want to do that because then this will end up going very red, and until everything gets back on the road, that could cause more issues than not. So only do that realistically if in the case of an emergency. That's kind of the emergency panic button. But keep that in mind. I'm hoping we don't have to do that. That would be absolutely heartbreaking to lose all of that money. I don't want to do it, but we'll keep all that in mind as we do this. We gotta have our money, though. So I can build this all the way up to here with no problem. For the moment, we'll temporarily get rid of the extensions. That's hence why I left this on pause for the moment. Not going to worry about that one. Now, here's the other catch, too. We can't build it on the outside of the city, so inevitably these are going to have to merge. Like, say, yep. Remember how I just said they have to merge? Well, here you go. Oh, we need it back a little further. So inevitably the train well, you know what? I'd say right past, actually, if we're being honest over here. I'd say inevitably it'll get to a point where we don't really need for it, the train superhighway, to actually exist. So right about here will probably be where it comes in. So there we go. So now what happens is we just connect this. And now we repeat, only with the other side of the train tracks. So we get that train superhighway, and now and why will the game just not cooperate with me? And it really wants me to go this way, huh? Really? You're gonna do that? What part of go this way didn't you understand? Can you not? Alright, hold please. Just so we're all clear, I had to literally demolish every single, like, piece of train infrastructure I had, because the game just wouldn't let me upgrade it efficiently. There you go. We have a train superhighway that's not really efficient. So here's the problem. You see every single intersection I have? That now needs to get demolished. All the way up to about right here. And actually, you know what? Might as well, you know. There we go. As long as that works, that'll kind of be the end of it. And of course, we're going to need another way. But as I was mentioning, every single one of these is basically going to need to be demolished or rewrote or like rearranged or whatever. Yeah, this is the problem when making a new quote-unquote, even a regular highway, you kind of have to do the same thing. So, I'm going to have to spend some time to rework and get these fixed. So, give me just another moment to do this. I think it's time for some fast forwarding. Whew. Alright. Think we have the first part of our problem solved. Or so I thought. Why are you not moving? Or are you just being, just sitting there? Looks like everything is just fine. But yeah, I had to rewrite our entire train, thing. Have it go this way. Let's split the highway, go underneath, flip around over here, and then just double back and rework all these intersections. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if this is going to work or not. And why is there a trap? Oh my god. There is a traffic jam leading out of the city. This game has officially gone nuts. You know what? Remember how I said earlier we may hit the emergency nuke button? Okay, that's for anarchy mode. I had to use anarchy mode to get this moving, but you know how we... Well, first off, I look good to see that's on fire. Alright. Well, brace yourselves. What we're about to do is kind of insane. Yep. Alright, so that right there basically nukes all traffic from the city. With that, the traffic is now no more. We're free! We're finally free! Oh. Excuse me. Don't worry, it'll all get regenerated soon enough. Yeah, see, it didn't really take it too long for the game to regenerate the traffic, but what I'm trying to do now is just to try to make sure all of this works just fine. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. You can also kind of see why I was hesitant to do that in the first place. That took you long enough. As we are now losing lots and lots and lots of money. We are down to negative 60. Fortunately, we've got 13 million in the bank, so that shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. It should recover not too shortly, but we'll monitor that for the time being. If it gets too low, I'll have to figure something out. Don't worry about the garbage just yet either, as the game is now just basically resetting itself. In the meantime, there was actually a second corridor that I would like to do this to, and I mentioned it earlier right here. There's only one slight issue, and that's the fact that part of our this train line that I would do it to is actually outside of the city, so that's going to be an issue right from the get-go. I think what I want to do, though, is do the same exercise over here. Problem is we have a cargo train line and a passenger rail over here, too. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to deal with this. Wow, that is, crowding up quite nicely. Oh, that's not good. Why are you on fire? Jeez, I get rid of all the traffic and the city now decides to burn itself to the ground. That is, just brilliant. Oh, boy. Welcome to City Skylines, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's see here. This was the other corridor that this was pointing out was... Now, see, this is because I hit the traffic go away button. Don't get too excited. Yes, that went up several %, but that's not why. And as you can see, the traffic's already starting to build back up slowly. I'll tell you what, because I don't want to waste any more money, let's let this run a little bit. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? That didn't take very long for our money to suddenly be back to normal. Excellent. Love to see it. See, I knew what I was doing. Not really. Throwing a nice little recycling center for this area, and I think we're looking pretty good. So, you know what? As soon as it gets light out, I think I will repeat that exercise again with this area. This area is just a disaster, period. Now, because of the limitations and the fact that we don't ever have very many, like, if anything, I imagine anything from over here is going to want to try and get out of the city since this is an exit right there. So probably all we would need to do is have a train line just cut across over here and repeat the same exercise until, say, we get to about this area? Don't know. I would like to have another train highway go over here, so luckily for us, what we did earlier is that we built kind of the infrastructure for it over here, so I can do this while the game is actually going. You know what? I'll just bite the bullet and upgrade this. It's going to be so time-consuming, but so be it. Then I'll have to figure out what happens with all these intersections. Did I screw this up? No, okay. And then as for the intersections, we'll figure something out. Let's see. Since this actually goes above the highway, I might as well just do that too. Gotta rise it up over the highway over here. Okay, I see what happened now. I know, it's not going to be even, but so be it. The game won't... It's just trying its hardest to have me connect both lines for some weird reason. I don't know why. There's a road perpendicular mod, but not a train one. That's kind of annoying. We'll stop it right there, because I'm not sure... And then complete it. So inevitably, what will have to happen is twofold. This will have to be upgraded, and these will have to be hooked up as such. Not for nothing, though. I wouldn't mind having a second cargo train station over here. As you can see, this area is just, This one's uber popular. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Okay, that is nasty. And then the train lines will have to connect. I would continue onward, but the game isn't going to let me upgrade anything outside of the city limits, and that train line can't be deleted either. What we could do... I don't know if this is going to work or not. We can certainly give it a try. Okay. Is that... Try to have build ourselves a little bit of a bypass. I don't know if this will work or not. That's the only problem, is that I don't know if this will work or not. And I'm not talking about building it either. I'm talking about from a traffic perspective. We may not be able to do this. I cannot see anything. Oops. That close to saying a word I shouldn't be on YouTube. Good job. Well, would you look at that? It already works. Alright, so our trains already like this. They already like the idea of having a bypass there. Remains to be seen whether or not... Okay, so some want to take it, some don't. That's fine. I don't really care, as long as, you know... I wish in an ideal world I could make this a one-way and this the other, but again, just because this is outside the city border, I can't do that. So we'll have to leave it as is. Yep, and the trains, and now that I can actually see, yep, we do have a connection. Ah, that anarchy mode. I love it. Alright. So I think what now has to happen is I gotta figure out some way. I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off, in all honesty. We may have to utilize some tunnels and a lot of bridges, and that's just to make sure these are secure, or another option could just be to simply have a, because we are going to have another iron mine over here, which is going to complicate things even more. I might have an idea to rectify this whole thing. So you know what? Let's just fast forward this ahead and see what we got. Okay, that took a lot and a while just to even get that set up. Oh, yikes. I didn't even finish the process. Look at that. I'm like out here touting victory, and all of a sudden it's like, you forgot something important, buddy. How about that? Problem kind of solved, I guess? So what I did is I made like an extra train line over here, 2 more cargo bays, to see if I can try to alleviate the problem. With some custom interchanges and all that. The only thing I haven't really addressed is this, so I guess this the quote final step, we can do that, but before we do anything else, I think it's time we filled in the rest of this block, say right there. Flank it with some shops. Fill in the gaps. And that should do the trick. So I'm pretty certain it's about that time we expanded as our residential meters needed. With that, we actually managed to complete our, let's call it inhabitants of the city. So now we're kind of at a problem point now where we need to think about expanding these zones. One slight issue, I didn't really plan on, doing just that. So at this point, the only other task that needs to be completed is to convert this into a one-way rail and then figure out how these 3 junctions over here are going to work. Other than that, we've got this junction, I guess, is in control as we possibly can. I'm going to be honest, it's probably not. And on that note, and it just dawned on me that some of the trains might want to actually go that way. I'm not being considerate enough. Oh, you terrible, terrible capitalist, you. Oh, of course that. And of course, that whiz game wouldn't be complete without some sort of weird shenanigan. Fine, I'll turn on anarchy mode. It's like the only way I can guarantee these train lines even get built properly. There, we're all happy now. That's sort of the best I can do under this such circumstance. And actually, since we're doing that, I'll be considerate to these trains as well. Well, I was going to, and then the game decided that was going to happen. Nope, still don't like it. Alright. Let's flipped. That's better. It just took a little bit of time there. I'll be considerate and do that. Alright, there we go. kind of wacky how we had these trains set up. So the last part, as I mentioned, and already I see an issue with this. That is not what I want to be seeing, but alas, here we are. So I'm going to need, once again, one final... Oh, I see. I had a funny feeling that might happen. Of course, why not? I don't know what it is with the train lines in this game. Somehow doing this every once in a while. Like, they won't... You build them at all the wrong angles. For some reason, the game doesn't want to connect it to the lines. I don't know why. Still trying to figure out that one. Oh, dear. Must have something to do with the angle. That's really the only thing I can think of, really. Nope. Yeah, it has to do, must have something to do with the angle. That's the only thing I can, like, hypothesize, is that it has to be set at a certain angle, and then the game can read it. Quote unquote. There we go. Oh, wait, these are going in the same direction. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, that's fine. All right. Let me address this for one final time. I know, there's been a lot of fast forwarding, but we have to do what we have to do. All right. There you go. I am hoping and praying that this works. I don't know if it will or not, but our trains now have 2 lanes to maneuver. I had to move the cargo train station over to here just on the grounds of it couldn't fit anymore. But it looks like everything seems to be okay, and right as I said that, that happened. Well, isn't that nice? Huh, this feels like just in the regular game, only highways, only they're using like 1 lane instead of 2. Someone's gonna have to explain, got some explaining to do on the scheduling front. Now, I'm just going to take a few minutes to try to observe this. There's still a tad more work that I need to do off camera. Let's see if I can get all the train lines set up properly. Because for all I know, I might not have them in the correct spots per se. You can see kind of our concoctions over here. Yes, we still have this one. It looks like... I can't tell. Uh-oh. I was just about to say, it looks like the trains might be happy with this, but I can't really tell right off the bat. One additional thing I did do is build a brand new two brand new cargo train stations right here on the highway. They are 2 one-way, so one goes this way and the other goes... I just realized... Oh, well, it connects to this one because it really doesn't have a choice. And then one comes over here. These are kind of attempts to alleviate the situation, not to mention the fact there'll be a future iron district over here. So that's kind of the hope here, but... You know, as I'm looking at it right now, I've been quietly observing this. I just thought of something. You think I should make like a highway exit over here? Not for nothing. Nah. Don't really need it. To be added later? Okay, so now we still got jams over here. We kind of have a jam over here, but not... We have a kind of jam over here. I don't know how these get created. Fortunately, I could use the mod menu to kind of help me out here if need be. Because I believe it'll allow me to do stuff like this that would be super helpful. There's no reason the trains should be jamming themselves up like this. And then what ended up being the result over here? Total utter chaos. I may have to do some more observing here. Oh, they actually decided to use 2 lanes. It's a miracle. Oh my god, they are actually using 2 lanes, so at least we know they have the capability to do so. It's just, this is a mess. And I haven't even addressed this area, but I don't think I'm going to, simply because, number one, a cargo train should theoretically not be coming into this space. I could try to have it to where, well, these are all passenger trains that are just... No, there are cargo trains. I'm starting to suspect this could be a mod menu kind of thing where we have to, you know... Let's try a little bit of an experiment here really quick before I bounce. Oh! Allow all... I'm not banning all freaking vehicles. That's insanity. That would cause more issues, so to not. I think somewhere in here there might be a way for me to do this, so we're going to have to toggle a few things. Apparently, we're now burning down the trampoline park. That's really not what I wanted to see. So I'm getting ideas. Meanwhile, we continue to hover around 10 grand. Like, this is basically going to be the problem. Year-wise, we started in 2023. Oh, wow, we are now 31 and a half years in. Oh, boy. Folks, time is ticking, apparently. I've got 18 and a half years of game time to pull this off. We've got till 2073 in game time, so I think next time out, assuming the rail problem fixes itself, I don't know if it will or not. I may have to play around with the traffic mods. Some more expansion might be needed. Actually, wouldn't mind putting in a second harbor. I think we're at the point now where we could use it a little bit more. And then I'll try to build these up, and I'm going to hope everything is okay from the train perspective. Otherwise, this could get really ugly, especially as we're coming down to the wire. And then finally, last but not least, our city is now filled out officially, but the problem is I don't know where else I could put my peoples. I kind of have a few spots in mind already, specifically our old industrial district, which has now been cleaned up. Kind of. We'll say it's cleaned up. I can always move this stuff, too, over to here if need be, so it's no big deal. So, got tons of decisions, but we're running out of time to do it. That's the only problem, so I'll think about these solutions some other time. But I will thank you guys so much for watching. I know that was kind of chaotic. But, you know, the game sort of kind of put me in a train-pocalypse there. At least now we've all seen what one looks like. So, once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one, assuming the shareholders don't try to full-blown revolt on me or something. They probably will. Thanks. Until next time.